Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. With very heavy heart, I sit here to give my condolences to the families who lost their loved ones in New Zealand. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive those who's been killed. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give sabr, patience to those who lost their loved ones. And I want to thank the Prime Minister of New Zealand for a very brave stand that she took on calling this incident as an act of terrorism. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, I would say you are very naive if you did not expect something similar to this. If you did not expect something similar to this, because the way the media was carrying the Muslims and Islam, this is the only logical result of what they've done. If you watch the media, if you read for the media, they will call every Muslim, or at least they will speak about Muslims as though every Muslim is a terrorist and every Muslim is a potential killer, and he's ready to explode any moment, any minute. And politicians, they feed this. And I give you a prime example. Our previous Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, his first national or international live interview, he called Islamism is a threat, the only threat that Canada should worry about. And we as Muslims, we said, oh, our Prime Minister, he's a wonderful man and he's protecting us and he's only against the extremists. But we only woke up and we realized what he did when Muslims were attacked in a mosque in Quebec and 5 of them were killed. And as a Muslim community, we got together as like a blooming flower in the spring, and we run around, collect a little thing here and there. And as soon as that, the media stopped talking about it, we also stopped talking about it. And look at what the media is calling these people. As you read, the media would quote the statement of the Prime Minister of New Zealand. And once again, I take my hat off for that lady. She is a very respectful lady for calling this as a terrorist attack. But look at the media. If you read, even the media in our own country, even the newspapers in our own country, they will quote the Prime Minister of New Zealand saying, the Prime Minister of New Zealand called this terrorist attack. But the media would hardly call this as a terrorist attack. Rather, they will call him the extremist. Not a terrorist attack, because that term, terrorist or terrorism, is reserved only for Muslims. When a Muslim lady runs with a butter knife and she points to someone, the media is very quick to say a terrorist attack. Someone who's connected to a terrorist group was about to kill someone with the butter knife. But when someone kills 49 Muslims in a mosque, people who have nothing to do with terrorism, they just came to worship and pray, the media refused to call them terrorists, but they call them extremists. So my community, you are very naive if you think just because a reporter comes to you and he gives you interview and you're an imam and you condemn this. If you think this man who's doing this, he has no agenda, you are very naive. So I would say to you as a Muslim community, don't be shocked and expect similar event if you don't stand up and be united and have a united front. United front, not something that would only react to incidents and situations, but create united front that is consistent, is always there. You know, support that entity, that organization, and make sure that's what happened to New Zealand does not happen in Toronto, does not happen in Ottawa, does not happen in Calgary, and so on. Because those people, they were also, I believe, they were brainwashed by the media. And they carried this horrific attack on Muslims because they thought The media that is always condemning Muslims, always attacking Muslims, definitely will support them, and they were right, because the media, they are supporting indirectly because they keep playing with the same cards. What should we do as a Muslims? We have to come up with two plans, short term and long term. Short term, we have to make sure this Friday and today's Friday, this Friday and the following Fridays, that every organization, every entity, you must contact the authority of your area. Contact Sh.sicid, contact RCMP, contact your local police, and make sure that your congregation is safe. And make sure the police come. Don't just say, you know, this is, we feel it. No, you say, you gotta come. We want you to be present. Number two, you have to have your own security members. You have to make sure that you have members of your community who keep their eyes, you know, open, and make sure while the people are praying, everyone is safe. Number three, you should have security camera around your premises. Make sure somebody sits behind the camera, not somebody just, you know, let the camera record, and then later on, after when it's too late, you want to review the image. That's too late. You have to have mostly someone who's sitting behind the camera, making sure every corner of the building is safe. Number four, as a community members, you got to keep your eyes open and make sure no strange things is happening, no unusual members with, you know, unusual outfits coming to the mosque. So these are simple. This is the immediate get together, immediate plan. The long-term plan, every city have to come up with a strong coalition with Sh.sicid, RCMP, and the police. And then they should not just say, we have this concern and walk away. No, they have to be involved. They have to follow up with these people. You have to make sure. There are a lot of extremists. You have a lot of people who wants to hurt Muslims, and we want to do something about it. My dear brothers and sisters, you have to be vigilant. You have to make sure that you're safe and your community members are safe, and work with your local authorities. And I will say to the reporters and to the media, be respectful to all faiths, to all religion, and stop feeding this nonsense. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.